Today, we're going to talk about something that's a huge deal for, well, for anyone who's ever tried to learn anything. We're diving into that powerful and honestly often ignored connection between how we feel and how well we learn. I mean, have you ever found yourself just staring at a textbook, totally bored out of your mind? Or what about that knot of anxiety that ties up your stomach right before a big test? Or that feeling of frustration when a new idea just refuses to click? If that sounds at all familiar, trust me, you are in very good company. Yeah, those feelings, they're totally normal. Pretty much everyone goes through them. But what if we've been looking at them all wrong? What if, instead of being these annoying obstacles, our emotions could actually become one of our greatest tools for learning? You know, the usual way we think about this is pretty simple, right? I learn something, and then I feel something about it. We do well on a project, we feel happy. We bomb the test, we feel frustrated. The emotion is just a reaction, a kind of side effect of what we did. Well, it turns out that old idea might just be, well, outdated. New research is flipping this whole thing on its head, and it gives us a much more powerful way to think about how our brains really work. So check this out. It's like a total mindset shift. The old way of thinking, it's like you're just a passenger in a car. Your emotions are just the weather, rainy, sunny, whatever, and you've no control. But this new view, it puts you in the driver's seat. It says that managing your feelings isn't just a reaction, it's an actual skill you can use to steer your own learning journey. And this is where it gets really interesting. We start to see emotions not as a problem to be solved, but as a skill you can actually build. The fancy term for it is academic emotional learning, or AEL for short. And the whole idea is that we can, actively pay attention to our emotions and tweak them as we go. So when you feel that boredom creeping in, you don't just suffer through it, you see it as a signal, as data, telling you that maybe you need to switch things up to get back on track. And this quote from psychologist Ben-Eliyahu really nails it. The goal isn't just to learn the facts and figures. The goal is also to learn how to feel curious when you're tempted to feel bored, or to feel determined instead of anxious. Our feelings become an actual target we can aim for. Okay, so how does this actually work? I mean, it sounds great, but what does it look like in real life? Well, it's not some kind of magic trick. It's a cycle, a 4-step process you can actually use. So here's the cycle. It starts with your emotional starting point. That affects the feelings that pop up while you're working. Then you use your toolkit to handle them. And finally, what happens creates a feedback loop for the next time you do this. Let's dig into that a bit more. So it all kicks off with what some researchers call your affective inclination. But really, just think of it as your emotional starting line. Are you heading into this task feeling good about it, or are you already dreading it? That initial attitude sets the whole tone. And it makes sense, right? That starting point is going to color everything that happens next. If you start out feeling positive, you're way more likely to feel things like curiosity and even joy. But if you start in a negative headspace, well, frustration and boredom are probably going to show up to the party. And this is the absolute game changer. You are not just stuck with those feelings. This is the moment where you become the pilot, not the passenger. You can actually step in, right in the middle of learning, and use specific strategies to manage those emotions. This is the real heart of AUL. All right, so what exactly are these strategies? What's in this emotional toolkit we're talking about? Let's crack it open and have a look. So this toolkit has a few different types of tools. You've got your thinking tools, the cognitive ones for changing your mindset. Then there are doing tools, the behavioral ones that are all about action. You've even got tools that use your body, like breathing, to calm down. And finally, tools to fire up your motivation when it's running low. Let's talk about one of the heavy hitters in the thinking category, cognitive reappraisal. It sounds complicated, but it's really just about changing the story you're telling yourself. So instead of thinking, oh, this assignment is so boring, you flip the script to, okay, this is a challenge and I can figure it out. That one tiny shift can change everything. And then sometimes you just gotta do something. When you're feeling totally stuck or unmotivated, the best tool might be to just begin. Open the book, write one sentence, solve one tiny part of the problem. That's behavioral activation. The simple act of starting can totally break that negative emotional cycle and build momentum you didn't even know you had. So what's the bottom line here? It's this. Your emotions aren't just these random things that happen to you while you're trying to learn. They are part of the process itself. And the best part? You can manage them. You have more power here than you probably ever realized. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. What's that one subject, that one task that you just can't stand? Now that you know about this toolkit, what's one new thing, one new tool you're going to try next time to change not just what you do, but how you feel while you're doing it?